life is suffering. That is an undeniable truth. There will be hardship, there will be chaos, and if you're not prepared, you will be crushed under its weight. But listen carefully, your mind is the battleground, and if you do not train it to remain calm, you will be ruled by fear, anger, and impulsivity. You see, most people allow external circumstances to dictate their internal state. They let their emotions hijack them. Something goes wrong and they explode. They blame the world, their past, their situation. But a strong mind does not react, it responds. And response is a choice. Life is an intricate dance between chaos and order. You are constantly navigating between these two states, whether you realize it or not. Chaos represents the unknown, the unpredictable, the moment when everything falls apart, when things do not go according to plan, when suffering arises unexpectedly. Order, on the other hand, is stability, structure, predictability. It is the feeling of being in control, the state where life makes sense, where things function as they should. But here's the reality. Life is not purely orderly. It cannot be, because if life were completely predictable, it would be stagnant, lifeless, and without challenge. You must understand that chaos will come for you, whether you are prepared or not. It will appear in many forms: an unexpected financial crisis, the betrayal of a close friend, the loss of someone you love, a failure that shakes your confidence to the core. And in those moments, your mind will either be the master of the situation or its prisoner. Those who have not trained their minds will be swept away by chaos, drowning in emotional instability, reacting impulsively, making poor decisions that lead to even greater disorder. Their mind will panic, their body will be flooded with stress, and instead of restoring balance, they will contribute to their own downfall. On the other hand, there is another way, a superior way, and that is to develop the ability to remain calm no matter the situation. This does not mean ignoring reality or pretending that problems do not exist. No, it means facing chaos with clarity, with a mind that is disciplined enough not to spiral into fear and anxiety. A calm mind is not an indifferent mind, it is a trained one. It sees the storm but does not panic. It acknowledges the problem but does not let emotion distort its thinking. It takes action based on logic and wisdom, not impulse. Imagine two men facing the same crisis. Perhaps they both lose their jobs unexpectedly. One man immediately panics. His mind begins racing with worst-case scenarios. How will I pay my bills? What if I never find another job? What if I end up homeless? His fear consumes him, making him reactive. He starts making desperate decisions, applying to jobs recklessly, perhaps even snapping at his family out of frustration. He does not solve the problem, he makes it worse. His emotional chaos adds to the external chaos, and suddenly he is completely overwhelmed. Now, consider the other man, the one who has trained his mind to remain calm. He experiences the same external problem, but his internal response is different. He takes a deep breath. He acknowledges the fear rising in him, but he does not let it dictate his next move. Instead of panicking, he sits down, assesses the situation logically, and asks, what is the next best step I can take? He does not deny reality. He confronts it, but with a clear mind. He strategizes instead of reacting. His mind remains a source of order, even in the face of external chaos. This is the difference between those who train their minds and those who let life dictate their state of being. Chaos is an inevitable part of existence. You cannot escape it, nor should you try, because the goal is not to eliminate chaos. It is to master yourself within it. Every great individual throughout history, every leader, every thinker, every warrior who accomplished something meaningful had to face chaos, but they did not allow it to defeat them. They transformed their suffering into wisdom, their fear into strength, and their adversity into resilience. And the truth is, a calm mind is not something you are born with. It is something you cultivate. It does not appear overnight. It must be trained through deliberate effort, just as a warrior trains for battle. You must put yourself in situations that challenge you You must seek discomfort and confront small moments of chaos daily, so that when true adversity strikes, you are not unprepared. Think about this. If you cannot remain calm in small irritations, how will you handle true crisis? If traffic enrages you, if a rude comment from a stranger ruins your day, if minor inconveniences make you snap, then how will you ever handle the real storms of life? You will not. You will crumble, and your emotional reactivity will destroy you before the real problems even arrive. That is why the battle begins now in the small moments. The next time something goes wrong, pause, take a breath, observe your emotions instead of becoming them. Do not let anger, fear, or frustration dictate your response, because every time you master a small moment of chaos, you are preparing for the larger battles ahead. You are forging a mind that will not break under pressure, a mind that can stand firm when the world around you falls apart. And this is the essence of true strength. Not brute force, not aggression, but the ability to remain composed no matter what. Because a man who is in control of his mind is in control of his destiny. Chaos will come. The question is, will you be its victim, or will you be the one who stands tall, unwavering, a source of order in the storm? That is the choice you must make, and it starts now. Most people go through life without realizing that their emotions are not truly their own. They are merely reacting to external circumstances, like a puppet being controlled by invisible strings. Something happens, an insult, a failure, an unexpected inconvenience, and they explode in frustration or retreat into anxiety. They justify their emotional reactions by blaming the situation, as if they have no say in the matter. But this is a dangerous illusion, because the truth is you are responsible for how you respond to the world. And until you take ownership of that responsibility, you will forever be at the mercy of every situation, every person, every fleeting event that crosses your path. People believe they have control over their lives, but if you look closely, you'll see that most are merely responding to stimuli like an animal in the wild. Something goes wrong, they panic. Someone offends them, they lash out. They let their emotions dictate their decisions without ever questioning where those emotions come from or whether they serve them. And this lack of self-awareness is precisely why so many remain stuck in cycles of stress, anger, and anxiety. Because if you do not control your mind, something else will, whether it's your environment, your past, or your fears. You must understand that reactivity is weakness. It is a sign that you are being controlled rather than being in control. A man who is reactive is not thinking. He is being driven by unconscious impulses, and these impulses, left unchecked, will lead to destruction. A person who constantly lashes out in anger destroys relationships. A person who allows fear to dictate their decisions remains stuck in mediocrity. A person who reacts impulsively to failure may quit before they ever realize their true potential. None of these are conscious choices. They are patterns deeply ingrained, controlling the individual from beneath the surface. But there is another way. A way that requires discipline, awareness, and an unwavering commitment to self-mastery. Instead of being ruled by emotions, you must train yourself to observe them. When anger arises, notice it. When fear grips you, study it. When frustration builds, take a step back, because the moment you become aware of your emotions, instead of blindly reacting to them, you take back control. You shift from being a puppet to being the master of your own mind, and this shift is where real power lies. Consider this: two people experience the exact same setback, a public failure, an embarrassing mistake, a moment of rejection. One person immediately spirals into self-doubt. They replay the event in their mind over and over, letting shame consume them. They allow their emotions to take over, and as a result, they hesitate the next time an opportunity arises. Their confidence is shattered not because of the event itself, but because they let their emotions define the event for them. The second person faces the same situation, but instead of collapsing under the weight of their emotions, they step back. They acknowledge the embarrassment, the frustration, the discomfort. But they do not let these feelings dictate their actions. Instead, they ask themselves, what can I learn from this? How can I improve? They take responsibility for their response, and instead of being paralyzed, they move forward. The event does not control them. They control how they frame the event. And this is a skill that can be cultivated in every aspect of life. Imagine someone cuts you off in traffic. Most people react instantly. They honk, yell, curse. They allow a complete stranger to dictate their mood, as if that driver has the power to reach into their mind and pull the strings. But what happens if instead you pause? If you take a deep breath and say, that person's actions do not have to dictate my state of mind. Suddenly, the control shifts back to you. The external event remains the same, but your internal response is your own choice. And this is where true freedom lies. It is not about suppressing emotions. That is neither healthy nor sustainable. It is about recognizing that emotions are signals, not commands. They arise, yes, but you are not obligated to obey them. You can feel anger without acting on it. You can feel fear without letting it control you. You can feel pain without allowing it to define your identity. The key is awareness, the ability to step outside of your emotions and choose how to respond. This is not easy. It requires practice. It requires a willingness to fail, to stumble, to catch yourself in moments of reactivity and course correct. But over time, as you train yourself to pause before reacting, as you build the muscle of conscious response, something remarkable happens. You become unshakable. You are no longer thrown off course by every inconvenience. You are no longer at the mercy of people's opinions, of setbacks, of fleeting emotions that rise and fall like waves. You stand firm, calm, in control. And in this state, you become powerful. Because a person who cannot be controlled by emotions cannot be manipulated, cannot be easily broken, cannot be swayed by external chaos. And the world takes notice. People respect the individual who remains composed under pressure. Leaders, warriors, thinkers, the greatest among them all share this trait. They do not react. They respond. They do not let circumstances dictate their state of mind. They take responsibility for their emotions, their actions, their lives. So ask yourself, are you in control of your mind, or is your mind in control of you? The answer to this question determines everything. It determines whether you remain a victim of circumstance or become the architect of your own destiny. It determines whether you live in a state of constant frustration or in a state of unshakable peace. And ultimately, it determines whether you are truly free. Because the highest form of freedom is not the ability to do whatever you want. It is the ability to remain unaffected by whatever happens around you. That is the freedom of a disciplined mind. That is the freedom of responsibility over reactivity. And that is the freedom you must pursue if you wish to rise above the chaos of life and master your own fate. The mind is not a fixed entity. It is not something you are simply born with, set in stone, unable to change. It is a muscle, and like any muscle, it can be trained, strengthened, and conditioned over time. Yet most people treat their minds as if they are beyond their control. They assume that their reactions, their fears, their anxieties are simply who they are, rather than patterns that can be reshaped. This is a fundamental mistake, one that leads to a lifetime of being controlled by emotions instead of mastering them. If you want to cultivate a mind that remains calm in the face of chaos, you must train it in the same way you would train your body. No one expects to become physically strong without effort. No one believes that they can run a marathon without practice or lift heavy weights without gradually building strength. Yet when it comes to mental resilience, people assume that it should simply happen on its own. It does not. A calm and disciplined mind is the result of consistent, deliberate effort. It must be exercised daily through conscious choices, through repeated exposure to discomfort, through the development of self-control. Consider this. When you first enter a gym, your muscles are weak. You struggle under the weight and every movement feels difficult. Your body resists the effort because it is not yet accustomed to it. But over time, as you train, as you push through the resistance, something incredible happens. Your body adapts. The weights that once felt impossible become manageable. The endurance you once lacked becomes second nature. Your muscles grow, and what was once difficult becomes easy. The same principle applies to your mind. The first time you try to remain calm in a stressful situation, it will be difficult. Your natural instinct will be to react, to lash out, to panic, to let emotion take over. But if you resist that impulse, even just for a moment, you are training your mind. If you do this repeatedly in small ways, your ability to remain composed will grow. And over time, just like a muscle, your mind will strengthen. Situations that once triggered anxiety or frustration will no longer have the same power over you. You will develop a level of control that most people never attain, not because you are special, but because you have trained yourself to be that way. Every day presents an opportunity to train. When you are stuck in traffic and feel the urge to get angry, that is a chance to build your patience. When someone speaks to you disrespectfully and you feel the urge to retaliate, that is a chance to build your self-control. When something does not go as planned and you feel frustration creeping in, that is a chance to build your resilience. These are your daily mental workouts, and if you engage with them deliberately, you will develop a mind that can remain calm under even the most difficult circumstances. The mistake many people make is that they wait until a crisis to try and control their emotions. This is like expecting to lift heavy weights without ever having trained. It will not work. When real adversity strikes, when life throws unexpected chaos your way, you will only be as strong as the habits you have built. If you have spent years reacting impulsively, allowing emotions to dictate your decisions, then in a crisis, you will crumble. But if you have trained yourself, if you have conditioned your mind to remain calm in small moments, then when true difficulty arises, you will not panic, you will be prepared. Training your mind is not about suppressing emotions. It is about creating space between what happens and how you respond. It is about strengthening the ability to observe your emotions rather than being controlled by them. Imagine standing at the edge of a raging ocean. The waves are crashing violently, threatening to pull you under. If you jump in unprepared, the current will take you. You will be at the mercy of the waves, tossed around with no control. But if you are strong, if you have trained yourself, you will not be afraid of the water. You will know how to move with it rather than be consumed by it. This is the power of a trained mind. It does not fight reality. It navigates it with awareness and discipline. There is an old saying that you do not rise to the level of your expectations, you fall to the level of your training. This applies to mental discipline just as much as it applies to any skill in life. If you train yourself to remain composed in everyday situations, then when real challenges come, you will not have to struggle to stay calm. It will be automatic. You will have built the strength necessary to face adversity without losing control. And this is what separates those who crumble under pressure from those who lead, who persevere, who succeed despite the odds. This is not something you achieve overnight. It requires patience, it requires daily effort, and most importantly, it requires an understanding that your mind is not fixed. It is adaptable, moldable, capable of transformation. The only thing standing between you and a calm, resilient mind is the willingness to train it. The world is full of chaos. It is unpredictable, unforgiving, and at times overwhelming. But within you lies the potential to become unshaken by it. You are not meant to be ruled by circumstance, by emotion, by external forces. You are meant to be the master of your own mind, and that mastery comes only through training. Every day, every moment, is an opportunity to strengthen yourself. The question is, will you take it? The world is filled with distractions, each one pulling you in a different direction, each one demanding your attention. Every moment your mind is bombarded by noise, social media notifications, emails, breaking news, opinions from strangers, endless entertainment designed to keep you hooked. And beyond all of that external noise, there is also the internal chaos. The thoughts racing in your head, the worries about the future, the regrets about the past, the constant self-doubt. Most people live in this state without realizing it. They drift through life, always reacting, never truly present, never truly in control of their own minds. But you must understand something crucial. Your ability to remain calm in any situation is directly tied to your ability to focus. Because a distracted mind is a chaotic mind. If you do not learn to control your attention, your thoughts will be scattered, and a scattered mind cannot be calm. It will always be restless, always chasing the next distraction, always reacting instead of responding with intention. If you want to cultivate true inner peace, you must train yourself to focus, to direct your attention where it is needed instead of allowing the world to pull it in every direction. Imagine a warrior in battle. If his mind is unfocused, if he is distracted by fear, by the noise around him, by thoughts of what might go wrong, he will fail. He will hesitate when he should act, and that hesitation will cost him everything. But if his mind is sharp, if he is fully present in the moment, he will see clearly. He will act with precision, unaffected by the chaos around him. This is the power of focus. It allows you to move through life with clarity instead of being lost in the storm of distractions. The modern world thrives on your inability to focus. It profits from your distraction. Every app, every platform, every form of entertainment is designed to keep you hooked, to pull your attention away from the things that truly matter. And the more distracted you become, the weaker your mind grows. You become reactive, easily influenced, easily overwhelmed. Your thoughts become scattered, and in that scattered state, you lose control over your emotions, frustration, anxiety, stress. All of these emotions thrive in a distracted mind. But when you focus, when you take back control of your attention, you take back control of your emotions as well. You have probably noticed this in your own life. Think about the last time you felt overwhelmed or stressed. Were you fully present in that moment, or was your mind jumping between a dozen different thoughts? Stress often arises not because of the situation itself, but because our attention is split. We are thinking about too many things at once, worrying about problems that may never happen, distracted by noise that does not serve us. But when you bring your focus to the present, when you train yourself to give your full attention to one thing at a time, you will notice something remarkable. The stress begins to fade because focus creates clarity, and clarity eliminates unnecessary anxiety. Training your focus is one of the most powerful ways to cultivate a calm mind, but like any skill, it requires discipline. It is not enough to simply want to focus. You must actively train yourself to do it. And this begins with eliminating distractions. Look at your daily life. How often do you check your phone? How often do you allow yourself to be interrupted? How often do you jump from one task to another without truly finishing anything? These habits weaken your ability to focus, and in turn, they weaken your ability to remain calm. Start small. Set aside time each day to train your focus. Choose one task, just one, and give it your full attention. When you feel the urge to check your phone, resist it. When your mind starts to wander, bring it back. This will be difficult at first. Your brain has been conditioned to seek distractions, to crave constant stimulation. But if you persist, if you train yourself to resist the pull of distractions, your mind will grow stronger. And as your focus sharpens, you will notice that you become calmer. Your thoughts will no longer be scattered. Your emotions will no longer control you. You will begin to move through life with clarity, with presence, with power. One of the greatest sources of mental turmoil is worrying about things beyond your control. But worry is simply misdirected focus. Instead of focusing on what you can do, on what actions you can take, your mind becomes lost in endless what-if scenarios, drowning in possibilities that may never come to pass. But when you learn to control your focus, you learn to direct your energy toward what actually matters. You stop wasting time on things you cannot change. You stop allowing external events to dictate your internal state. You develop the ability to remain calm, not because the world has become less chaotic, but because you have mastered your ability to direct your attention. A calm mind is a focused mind. And a focused mind is a powerful mind. It does not allow itself to be controlled by distractions, by external noise, by fleeting worries. It remains clear, steady, unwavering. This is the kind of mind you must cultivate if you wish to remain calm in every situation. Because life will test you. It will throw challenges your way. It will attempt to pull you in 100 different directions. But if you have trained your focus, if you have learned to direct your attention with intention, none of that will shake you. You will move through the world with clarity, with purpose, with unshakable composure. And in the end, this is not just about remaining calm. It is about something much deeper. It is about taking back control of your own mind in a world that is constantly trying to control it for you. It is about choosing where to place your attention instead of allowing it to be dictated by distractions. It is about developing the ability to stand firm in the face of chaos, not because the chaos disappears, but because you have learned to see through it. Most people will never do this. They will remain trapped in distraction, consumed by external noise, reactive instead of proactive. But you do not have to be like most people. You can train yourself. You can sharpen your focus. And when you do, you will discover a power within yourself that most will never find. The power to remain calm, clear, and completely in control of your own destiny. Life is unpredictable. No matter how carefully you plan, no matter how much effort you put into controlling your circumstances, there will always be moments of uncertainty, moments where things do not go as expected. You will face setbacks, disappointments, failures, and unforeseen challenges. And in these moments, most people break. They let their emotions take over. They panic. They despair. They become overwhelmed by frustration and anxiety. But there is another way, a way that allows you to remain calm, steady, and in control, even when everything around you is falling apart. That way is the acceptance of uncertainty. Most people suffer not because of what actually happens to them, but because of their resistance to reality. They expect life to be predictable, stable, and fair. And when it is not, when things go wrong, when plans fail, when the unexpected happens, they resist, they fight against reality, as if their anger, their frustration, or their worry will somehow change the situation. But this resistance only creates suffering. It does not solve the problem. It does not bring clarity. It only fuels stress, making an already difficult situation even worse. To remain calm in every situation, you must shift your mindset. You must understand at the deepest level that uncertainty is an inevitable part of life. No amount of planning or preparation can remove it completely. The world is too complex, too dynamic, too full of variables beyond your control. And if you live in fear of uncertainty, if you allow it to disturb your peace, then you will always be at its mercy. But if you embrace it, if you learn to work with it rather than against it, you will find a level of calm that most people never experience. Imagine standing in the middle of a raging storm. The wind is howling, the rain is pouring, and the world around you is in chaos. Most people in this situation would panic. They would try to fight against the storm, struggling against the wind, cursing the rain, wishing for the calm to return. But the storm does not care about their resistance. It will rage on regardless. And the more they fight it, the more exhausted they become. But now imagine someone else in that same storm, someone who does not resist. They do not panic. They do not fight against the wind. Instead, they stand firm. They accept the storm for what it is, knowing that it will pass. They adjust their posture. They move with the wind instead of against it. And because of this, they remain standing while others are thrown off course. This is the mindset you must cultivate. The storm is not the problem. Your reaction to it is. Think about the times in your life when uncertainty has caused you stress. Perhaps you were waiting for an important result, an exam score, a job interview, a business decision. And in that waiting period, your mind was filled with worry. What if it doesn't go the way you want? What if something unexpected happens? You played out endless worst-case scenarios, allowing anxiety to consume you. But did that worry change the outcome? Did it help you prepare? Or did it only make the experience more painful? Now, imagine approaching that same situation with a different mindset. Instead of resisting uncertainty, you accept it. You recognize that some things are outside your control, and you focus only on what you can influence. You remind yourself that no amount of worrying will change the outcome. So you let go of the need for absolute certainty. And as a result, you remain calm, you remain clear-headed, and because of this, you are able to make better decisions, respond more effectively, and navigate challenges with strength and confidence. This is not about passivity. It is not about giving up control over your life. It is about focusing your energy on the things that actually matter rather than wasting it on things you cannot change. It is about being adaptable, learning to adjust, to pivot, to move forward, even when the path is unclear. Because the reality is, the people who succeed in life are not those who avoid uncertainty, but those who thrive within it. They are the ones who remain steady when others panic. They are the ones who see opportunities in moments of chaos. They are the ones who understand that while they cannot control every event, they can always control their response. Consider a ship navigating through open waters. If the captain expects the sea to always be calm, he will be unprepared when a storm arises. But a skilled captain knows better. He does not expect the ocean to obey his wishes. Instead, he learns how to sail in any condition. He adjusts his sails when the wind changes. He remains steady when the waves rise. And because of this, he reaches his destination while others are lost at sea. Your mind must be like that ship, capable of adapting to whatever conditions arise. If you train yourself to embrace uncertainty, to remain calm in the face of the unknown, you become unshakable. You are no longer thrown off course by every unexpected event. You no longer allow fear of the unknown to dictate your actions. Instead, you move forward with confidence, knowing that you are strong enough to handle whatever comes your way. This strength is built through practice. It is not enough to simply understand this concept. You must live it. Every day, life will present you with small uncertainties, small moments of discomfort, small opportunities to practice letting go of resistance. Maybe your plans change at the last minute. Maybe something unexpected happens at work. Maybe you face a challenge you did not anticipate. In these moments, pay attention to your reaction. Do you panic? Do you resist? Or do you remain calm, adjust, and move forward? Each time you choose calm over panic, acceptance over resistance, you are training your mind. You are strengthening your ability to remain composed in any situation. And over time, this ability becomes second nature. You reach a point where uncertainty no longer disturbs your peace, where you can walk through life with a steady mind, regardless of the chaos around you. The world is uncertain. It always will be. But you do not have to be uncertain within yourself. You can be the steady force in the middle of the storm. You can be the calm amidst the chaos. And when you develop that level of inner strength, you become unstoppable. Because nothing, not failure, not setbacks, not unexpected challenges, can shake a mind that has mastered the art of embracing uncertainty. The ability to remain calm in every situation is not something you are born with. It is something you build. It is the result of deliberate effort, daily practice, and a deep understanding of how your mind works. Chaos is inevitable. Uncertainty is a constant. Adversity will come, whether you are ready for it or not. But what truly matters is not what happens to you, but how you respond. You must train your mind as you would train your body, through discipline, through conscious effort, through repeated exposure to difficulty. You must recognize that emotions are powerful but not absolute, that they do not have to control you if you learn to observe them rather than react to them. You must cultivate focus, the ability to direct your attention where it is needed rather than allowing yourself to be consumed by distractions. And above all, you must embrace uncertainty, understanding that true strength does not come from controlling everything around you, but from learning to adapt, to adjust, to remain steady even in the face of the unknown. Most people will never achieve this level of mental resilience. They will live their lives at the mercy of their emotions, controlled by fear, anxiety, and frustration. But you do not have to be like most people. You have the ability to train yourself, to sharpen your mind, to become the kind of person who stands firm while others crumble. The world will test you again and again. The question is, will you be ready? If you commit to this path, if you train your mind with the same seriousness that you would train your body, then no matter what life throws at you, you will not break. You will not be ruled by fear. You will not be thrown off course by chaos. Instead, you will remain composed, focused, and in control. And in that state, you will not only survive adversity, you will thrive within it. You will become a force to be reckoned with, a person who is truly unshakable.